Thank you both so much for coming on and giving me some time today.
Thanks for having us.
I was just talking to, and it's always awkward. How do you guys, what do you call one another? Do you call each other by your names, or are you Heffernan and he's Lemmy, or like
He's asshole and I'm what?
He's fuckface.
All right, perfect. I'll
Yeah,
stick with not that.
That guy. I call him that guy a lot.
I call him my friend Kevin. I'm not.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not sure why he's being so hostile.
Where are you, Jesse? Where are you?
I'm in North Carolina right now.
Okay, got it. With a shitload of bourbon behind you.
Oh yeah, there's a few bottles. There's a couple. The point of it's always when people come over, whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like the purpose is to share it. So whenever, and it also keeps people from not wanting to visit. They come over, have whatever they want.
Okay, but what if they pick the most expensive thing on the shelf? Where you're like, ah.
Well, the beauty of the show is I've had to open everything to review it or to talk to who made it or to do whatever I do with it. So it upsets some of the collectors out there because they're like, what why is that open? I'm like, because I drink it, man. I'm one of those idiots. I don't resell it. I actually drink it, and it's probably going to bite me in the ass in a few years.
But you know, that's the thing. So like I've had this conversation with a couple of Kevin and my mutual friends down in Nashville. Our buddy Mike Roos, who used to play for the Tennessee Titans. When we got season 2 of Tacoma FD, he bought me a bottle of Pappy.
Yeah.
And had it like engraved. You know, he got me a gift that said congratulations on season 2, and it was like, you know, the market value is like, you know, over $1,000 for this bottle, and I was like, I want to drink it, but like I also don't want to drink it because it's so expensive. And he was like, no, the whole point of bourbon, the whole point of me giving this to you is so you can drink it. and that's the paradox.
But didn't your father-in-law drink it on you without you knowing or something like that?
So that's a different story. Yeah. So
he opened it without you knowing?
So here's what happened. Like since the pandemic, Kevin and I edit Tacoma FD out of our homes now. We've got the technology, and so we can get on with our editors and do it on Zoom and edit. And so it was the summer when we were editing season 2. And that's when the pandemic hit, and in the summertime the whole family comes over, and my father-in-law was in town, and they're out there while I'm working. They're out there by the pool. I can hear music. I can hear cans being popped open. I can hear people jumping in the pool, children screaming. It's fantastic. And at some point, her dad just walked into my office and was like, and he went to my bourbon shelf and reached all the way up to the top and pulled down the bottle of Pappy. And that's when I saw for the first time that there was like this much left in it. And he put down a glass of ice and poured the Pappy into ice and then poured Coke on top of it. And I was like,
oh man.
And so I had to, that's an expensive bourbon and Coke right there. And so I didn't realize it, but he had just been coming in and drinking all the top shelf stuff in his with his bourbon and Cokes. So I had to put out all the cheap stuff for him, and I had a very serious talk with his daughter, my wife.
Oh, I was gonna say it's your father-in-law on top of it, so it's not like you can really like. There's still a level of, that's her dad.
Yeah, no, and he's responsible. I mean, his seed is responsible for giving me my family. So like, what can I really say?
Well, I want to thank you both so much for coming on the show. Tacoma FD, absolutely love the show. Happy that it's now on Netflix. Tell me a little bit about it. And first, everybody knows you guys, BrokenLizard, all of the movies. Quasi last year was fantastic. And now, of course, 4th season, all 4 seasons on Netflix. The whole thing, it just synergizes with the vibe you guys have been putting out since you've been on the scene.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we've been doing the show for a couple of years now. Lemmy and I used to travel around, do a lot of stand-up together. And, we sold a couple of TV shows over the years, and, we're trying to get some shows on the air. And we kind of thought, what do people like about us? And they like us in uniforms with mustaches. And so we decided, gratuitously to put together this firefighter show because there wasn't really a firefighter comedy out there. And I have some family who are firefighters and they all have great stories. And we started trying to think about what the show would be. And SuperTroopers was kind of a thing where it was cops not having much to do, so they would, mess around with the people they pulled over. So what's the equivalent of firefighters? And we said, why don't we set this thing in the wettest city in America? And then theoretically, they would have fewer fires to fight at that point. And so it just kind of took off from there. And now we've done 4 seasons, that was about 5 years ago. And so we've done 4 seasons on True TV, and they've gone through a lot of turmoil, their network. So, we would get eyeballs here and there, but really, we landed on Netflix a month ago and it's just exploded, it's just a testament to how many more people watch Netflix and binge watch Netflix. And it's just been awesome. The last month, people have been finding the show and enjoying it.
Well, it serves a purpose on the landscape right now. Me and my wife were talking about it because you guys have affected my career in various ways over the years, as every time I get to a place, BrokenLizard has somehow been intertwined in it a little bit, which is odd. But there's not a comedy on television right now, is what is the point. There's a lot of serious, there's a lot of funny, but it's like, it's not a comedy. It's like drama funny. You know what I mean?
You're not tuning in to laugh.
Right.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of like comedy.
Bear, for example.
Comedy has been taken over, by these shows that are really dramatic shows,
Well, it's funny that you mentioned The Bear, because that's something that FX is a great network, but the sort of like the word on the street is that they don't necessarily want you to laugh. They just want you to smile.
Right.
And so the comedies are like smiley comedies.
Yeah. It's a comedy, but I'm going to seethe in every scene I'm in.
Yeah.
And, I guess, it's a good show. I like the show.
It's a great show. It's incredibly well made and acted,
but your show's literally become our cleanser. Like we watched the new one with Jodie Foster. We were watching the new True Detective. And after an hour of that, you're like, you know what I want to see? I want to see people walking towards a camera in slow motion with rock and roll in the background. And then I want to see someone eat pretzels out of a robot. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Sometimes you gotta laugh. Sometimes
gotta
you gotta
laugh. That's right.
We talk about that all the time. Anytime we think we have too much heart in one of our scripts, we're like, we don't need this. People just want to laugh. They just want to laugh.
Well, and you guys gel so well with the cast. I love that you've got the BrokenLizard guys. They come in, they show up every so often, but the development of characters from season 1 through season 4, they're playing with you guys now. Like in the first season, you two are obviously the setup punches of the show, and they're kind of like interacting with you. And as the seasons have progressed, they're now just as wacky as you guys are, but it's in that playful improv way that comes from actually knowing the beats of one another's humor. Like the show has grown very well.
Well, I think after season 1, we wrote season 1, we didn't know the actors at all. We didn't know who we were writing for, but while we shot season 1, we got to know them. And that, sort of that begets new stories. And then of course, after season 1 came out, we spoke to real firefighters, more of them, who all had their stories. And so season 2, we had a much deeper pool of comedy that we could swim in, because we knew all the quirks of the actors, and we had, crazier stories from real firefighters. So it made our jobs a little bit easier.
And you just get more comfortable with the actors too. Once you become friends off camera, it's just easier to relax and be kind of goofier. And, that's why you see, I think, like more like outtakes and things like that, where we're just kind of hanging out with their friends rather than working with actors,
Right. And that's where some of the magic comes in, right? Like you might find something in an honest moment that you might not find with the written word.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we, things have changed since we got into the film and TV industry. Back when we made Puddle Cruiser, our first movie, we shot that on 35mm film. And we only had enough money for like 1 or 2 takes for everything. And as soon as the director called cut, you cut. because
Right.
the film was so expensive. Whereas now, you know, like we're shooting on digital, and you know, we just let the cameras roll. We have like 15-minute takes, and then even but we'll say like, all right, hold on, we're gonna start over again. Don't cut. And then you know, the actors start talking amongst themselves and actually have real dialogue and tell real jokes, and we'll use all that stuff. Like
That's
we'll actually create scenes based on stuff that has nothing to do with anything, just because
that's
it's so
awesome.
good.
And you're getting real shit when you do that. Like you're getting genuine, like just top level shit.
Genuine reactions and
Right.
genuine yeah, laughs.
When Super Troopers came out, I was actually in LA pitching 2 TV shows to, I don't even remember who. And we, you know, they'd given us time and we had actually crafted together 2 sitcoms. And the Monday we go into pitch, Super Troopers had just come out and just shattered expectations for what a comedy could do, especially a comedy that was like, you know, not PG, like a
Yeah,
good,
rated
good
R.
old
Yeah.
fashioned kick-ass comedy. And they listened to our pitch very politely, a lot of and then as soon as we were done, they were like, all right, the Broken Lizard guys, they just destroyed the world. Could you guys give us that? And I mean, luckily we're a sketch group like out of North Carolina. So we
Yeah.
had the characters, we had the shit to do it. But like, you know, then you've got 48 hours to try and replicate Super Troopers because Lionsgate doesn't want to, they don't want a sitcom anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
common. You know, like
We've had to
when
deal with that also.
yeah, when the Judd Apatow movies were coming out, like 40-Year-Old Virgin, and then you know, like Knocked Up, and then Super Bad, those movies. Every meeting we went into, people were like, "Where's banter? We want banter. Do you guys can you do banter?" And we're like, "Yeah, the banter, yeah, the banter comes when you improvise. We'll do banter." They're like, "We want to see it on the page. We want banter." And then like when The Hangover came out, and it starts off with Bradley Cooper saying, "We fucked up. You know, we lost the groom." Every meeting we were into, we were like, we want a scene from the end of Act 2 to be the cold open of the movie. Can you do that? Can you have something where they're like, oh, we fucked up, and then we'll go back and catch up to the story? That's the way Hollywood works.
Yeah.
Whatever's hot at that moment is what you're gonna have to pitch.
That's freaking awesome, though. While we were writing it, I just remember we were all like, that's where we want to be. We want to be at that level where something hits so fucking hard that it becomes the new measuring stick for what they're asking for.
Yeah, no, I mean that was great. And you know, we didn't even realize that Super Troopers was going to do that. You know, it's like I remember getting off the plane at Sundance because we premiered at Sundance. You know,
Right.
we never screened it for an audience before. We got off the plane with fresh 35mm prints from the lab and showed it for the first time in front of that audience. And that opening scene of Super Troopers played through the roof, and that's when we're like, oh shit, this is working.
Right.
Like we didn't even know, you know. So
And then from there, you follow it up with Club Dread into, good Lord, BeerFest, Slammin Salmon. You guys have consistently been able to recapture that group energy. How often do you still see the rest of Broken Lizard?
Quite a
we
bit.
see
I
a
mean,
lot. We get together a lot. We're you know, we're working pretty frequently on scripts. We're working on Super Troopers 3 right now.
Oh,
And
that's
so, you know, we'll
kick-ass.
get together. And then it was fun. We just actually did a week last week. This will, you know, play into what we're talking about here, but we entered into a promotional partnership with Whistle Pig.
Hey,
So we went up to the Whistle Pig farm for about 3 or 4 days and shot a bunch of content with them and drank a lot of whiskey and
that's some good
had a good
whiskey.
time with all the boys, all the Super Trooper boys, the
Oh,
lizards.
that's freaking great, man.
Yeah.
Did you get to hang out with Liz Rhodes?
um, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No.
She's one of the main, like she crafts a lot of the different expressions that are coming out right now for them.
Oh, she does
It's
like the marketing stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
delicious whiskey. I could only imagine what a full gang of you guys loaded up with a proper amount of rye whiskey can do with some camera footage.
Um,
It was painful. I mean, painful the next morning. I
Right,
mean, we had
right.
a great time, and you know, we hung out with the head taster there. Was it Melissa Ireland? Is that her name?
Megan Ireland,
Megan Ireland.
Megan.
Megan Ireland, and
nice Irish girl.
Yeah, and we sampled everything, and and it was it was like a playground. It was a
But
little
you got to
whiskey.
pace yourself, right?
Yeah, well, we tried to figure out
Yeah.
how she does it, and she would tell us that she would spit it out, because otherwise she'd be in deep trouble. But we didn't spit it out.
No, no. Uh, Oftentimes there'll be a spit bucket, and as they go through the wider varieties of expressions, you can't go from 9 till 5 drinking 114 proof. Uh, so they'll get rid of some of it, but they'll also drink quite a bit of it.
Well, the funny
Yeah.
thing is, so it's on the Whistlepig Farm is in Vermont,
Right?
which is that's where the crossover happens. And we were up there, and every single room has it, like the room you're sitting in right now is every single, even the bathroom has bottles
Right.
of bourbon in it. And it's it's everything from the low end all the way up to the Boss Hogs,
Oh,
at Whistlepig. And of course you walk in, your eyes are like saucers. You're like, the first minute we were there, we were all like, could we try the Boss Hog? And so, and there are, there are the whiskey glasses everywhere. They're just pouring them out for us, and then waking up
beautiful.
to shoot. I think our call time was at 6 a.m., which was
Yeah, that was
Los
tough.
Angeles time. That was a tough wake up. And then we shot all day. And then, yeah, afterwards, we hung out with Megan and Jeff Kozak, the CEO, and the whole Whistlepig crew, the hospitality crew. And you basically try every single whiskey they've got, the
That's
12 year,
awesome.
15 year, the 21 year. And
Yeah.
then you
This year's
wake up
Boss Hog was
for a
good.
6 a.m. flight the next day.
God bless. Just you didn't burn the candle, you soaked the candle at both ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we drank the candle.
That's right. The Boss Hog from this year was really good. Like that, they did that mead finished barrel. It had a nice honey flavor to it. And you had the bottle of Pappy. You guys fancy yourself drinkers regularly? Like you dive into the bottle from time to time?
Lemmy is much more. I'm kind of a Luddite in that world, but Lemmy is much more. I mean, for me, it's like the same thing with like wine or coffee or chocolate cake. If you put it in front of me, I will consume it. But I don't necessarily know what I'm consuming. But Lemmy is much more of a connoisseur than I am.
Yeah, no, I like bourbon, and I'm getting into rye.
Nice.
So it was fun to be there.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's a
but
beautiful
it's
property.
it's still, bourbon is something to be consumed in moderation.
Yes, agreed. Uh,
So
we had a few of the producers. We last week was a big week, and we got a lot of new stuff in. So Saturday night, after a couple of us had shows, we all ended up back here, and that's the beauty of it, right? You just sort of fellowship with your buddies and go through and get the different, drink until everybody's flavor profiles are just like stutters.
exactly.
But
But then you have
it's that camaraderie. That's all part of it. It's not just the whiskey; it's who you drink it with, and that camaraderie is what really comes across when you watch the Tacoma FD. Like when you're sitting there, like you guys, again, you said you didn't know them in season 1, but it looks like you're really having a good time when you're shooting. Like the whole thing comes across as a lot of fun. See, I got
Yeah,
us
no
back on
question.
track. I got us back on
Yeah.
track there.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. Yeah.
wow, that's so smooth, like a nice bourbon.
Seamless, right?
Yeah, that's our philosophy was always like we want to be a group of guys that you would want to hang out with, whatever, whether it's or a group of guys that like SuperTroopers was, even though Kevin's character is kind of like an against the grain guy and irritates everybody, we have people coming up to us saying, no, we have a guy like that we work with.
Oh yeah.
But our approach was always never mean spirited. It's like, it's guys, we can give each other a hard time, but we're just, we're ribbing each other and having fun. And that's always been the approach.
Right. And from that, do you guys, what is the most random thing that people will either say or yell at you when they meet you? Like which movie gets quoted the most? Is it SuperTroopers or
Depends on what,
BeerFest?
like, it depends on what generation they're from, which is kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like, there was definitely a span of time where it was, you'd walk down the street or whatever it is, and they yell stuff at me. They yell your lines at you. You know what I mean? Chicken
Right.
fucker or whatever it is. And then there's a generation that when they went to college, it was BeerFest. And then they'll throw the BeerFest lines at you. And I think now the nice thing is Tacoma, we get that too. It's like there are little catchphrases and words, you know, like soft or whatever, stuff like that we say all the time, or noise. And they'll say that to us now. So it's kind of interesting. The sad part is when it comes around again, where you find like a young person saying a Super Troopers quote to you, and then they tell you that their parents turned them on to Super Troopers, and then that makes you feel old.
Right, right. Well, especially if they're too young and you've got like a 5-year-old screaming a bear fucker at you.
Yeah. You shouldn't be watching this. You shouldn't be watching.
Well, Tacoma FD, it is now on Netflix. I love that you guys have so many more eyes on the product now. It's exactly what TV needs. I hope that it continues. I hope you get freaking 100 seasons out of it, because it's just a good freaking show, and you can tell you guys put a lot of work into it.
Thank you.
I hope so. I mean, hopefully this Netflix thing will expand the audience so that there'll be a demand for more of it. You know, we got a lot of stories. We got 10 seasons in our, ready to go, but
Beautiful. Well, I mean, from all your
Somebody's gotta pay for it.
conversations with firefighters, right? Like do they like the show? Are you hitting
Love
that
it.
chord?
They love it.
Yeah.
They love it. I mean, when we talk to them, they feel like that's the authentic representation of it. It's similar to why cops like Super Troopers. It's like when you show them as the good guys who joke with their friends and, as human beings, then, I think they connect with it. And the same thing with the firefighters. They love, that, 75% of their time is in the station, and it's dealing or hanging out with your friends that you work with, and that's what our show's about. So they really kind of like that, rather than the kind of like sweaty, sooty drama crying version. They like the joke around with the friends version of firefighter life.
Yeah, which we actually touched upon that in season 4. We had firefighters who were like, "Oh my God, I hate those emotional shows." Like, first of all, we'll watch them and we just call bullshit on everything that's going on. And one of the things one of the firefighters told us was like, there was one episode of like, one of those shows where a woman had been hit by a meteor and it had gone through her chest, or like got into her chest, and they had to pry it out. And they were like, this was absurd. Okay. Like, first of all, that would kill her instantly. Second of all, the thing is glowing red hot. It's from outer space, and it would melt, the tools that you were pulling it out with. But so in season 4, in the first episode, we mocked that. My character went off to become a technical consultant on one of those types of shows and the scene is a meteor in a person's chest. And so, that's something we've heard from the firefighters, is like, those things are not realistic, but they like how much we grab ass with each other.
Well, I mean, that's what you spend more time than not just sitting in the firehouse trying to make each other laugh, right?
Yeah, or pull pranks on each other or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, the pranks are legendary.
Oh yeah, and like we couldn't even make some of that stuff up. Like, you'll sit and talk to a firefighter, and they'll tell you 10 pranks they pulled, and we're just like, oh, that's great, and we try to put them on the screen.
Our buddy Charlie, he's a firefighter down the street. Both of them, one of them's mean and the other one's awesome. They took apart they took apart his entire AC unit, and they put cat food behind the fan, so that when he turned it on, and it gets hot in North Carolina in the summertime, his entire car just smelled like, cat food.
Oh,
So
God.
to get that guy back, they took I think he was going to talk to a school later that day. They had taken his AC apart and stuffed it with glitter. So when he turned on the truck, just glitter straight to the dome, and he had to go to the school and present to the children, sparkling.
Yeah. No, we met some firefighters who told us that what they did, they had a probie. For people who don't know, that's a rookie in the station. And what they did is they all got a fake, like a temporary tattoo, like this ugly, like a donkey or something like that. And they all, on their shift, they all got the same temporary tattoo. And they told the probie that was their shift tattoo. And he had to go out and get one. And he went out and got a real tattoo of this hideous donkey. And then when he came back, they all rubbed theirs off, and they were like, "Ha ha, what's up, motherfucker? We got you." And we're like, that's like the cruelest prank in the world, you know?
And y'all were able to bring that in, weren't you? Y'all were able to.
My wife. Everyone say hi to my wife.
Hello. You guys were able to bring that into one of the episodes.
Those are the ones that you bring in. You're like, holy shit, that's too good. That's too
freaking
good. Though. We got to
fantastic.
put it in an episode.
Oh my God, guys. Well, you've given me a lot of your time. I want to thank you so much. What if you when you're not drinking Whistle Pig, what would be your go-to? Kevin, if it's in front of you, we'll just say whatever's there.
I'll make a shameless plug. We just had we were lucky enough to just have dinner with a good friend of ours. His name is Ryan Bingham, who's a country music star, and he's got his own bourbon called Ryan Bingham Bourbon.
Yeah.
And we all left with multiple bottles from his house the other day, and it's pretty delicious. So I'm gonna plug him.
Yes.
All right.
Well, by all means, I've reached out to his people trying to get him on the show because he it is really good whiskey.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, like so many people will slap their name on it, and then you try it and you're like, what is this? But that is like, he was part of the process. Like he made the picks. He made sure that like it matched what he wanted it to taste like. I think his goal was to have like, like legitimate whiskey, like a man's whiskey. And that's what he got. So yeah, by all means, plug away. That's delicious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it knocked Lemmy on his ass a couple of weeks ago, right, Lemmy?
Oh, I was howling at the moon that night.
Yeah.
But every time I was finished with the glass, I would see that it was suddenly refilled again. I was sitting next to him at the dinner table.
Oh, that's perfect.
But it was delicious. I'll plug this Rhino Dart.
There you go.
Rhino Dart is my canned cocktail. It's an agave-based citrus cocktail in a can that you can only get in Nashville right now. We've launched out of Nashville about 8 months ago, and we're slowly beginning the expansion process now. But it's a great summertime beverage. You can drink it straight or over ice, and it's all natural ingredients, so it won't give you one of those pesky hangovers.
I love it. I love it.
Good plug.
So everybody go out and buy as much of that as you can find. I'm in Nashville all the time. So I'll definitely have to be on the lookout for that. You in Nashville often?
Now I go to Nashville every few months to we'll do tastings in stores of Rhino Dart and do events. I threw out the first pitch at a Nashville Sounds game recently. I bounced it in case you were wondering. But yeah, I love Nashville.
That's awesome. Down there between Nashville and Kentucky, it's between Tennessee and Kentucky. I seem to be in both of those states a lot lately for some reason. But it works out pretty good. The shows you kind of combine. People come for a tasting in the afternoon, and then they come to the show at the end of the night, and works out pretty good.
What's a good bourbon recommendation from you from that maybe people don't know about?
Oh man, right now I've been Prideful Goat, man. My buddy out of Houston, Texas, Christopher Hart and Randy, they've Prideful Goat. It's over my left shoulder. I think it is the same mentality. They started this whiskey social in Houston that just blew up, and now it's like one of the biggest parties in the state. And they wanted a whiskey that they liked and that one that they could sit with and have friends over and have a good time with. And Prideful Goat's what they came up with. I think Chris just finished putting a whiskey together with Sam and Mark Norman, Bodega Cat. So that's another one. That's one for the boys. If you're in the green room, they wanted something you could sip in the green room and not have to, like not drink some of the swill that gets put out there. So I like good people doing good things. You know what I mean? So if you see Prideful Goat, if you see Bodega Cat, if you see Rhino Dart, give them all a drink because they're damn good shit.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are super busy, and I appreciate you giving us a little bit of your day. I still want to call you Lemmy. I'm so sorry. I'll call you Steve. Steve, Kevin, thank you guys so much for being on the show. Super appreciate you guys coming on, and I hope you do get 10 seasons of Tacoma FD. It's a fantastic show now on Netflix. Go watch all of them. Everyone listening, watch every episode and demand more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Cheers.